Thanks for joining me with my market report. My name is Mike, and this market report is about mortgage rates. We get into what's driving mortgage rates on a daily basis. We get try and cover the week. We kind of give you the trends if they're going up or down or going sideways. A little bit about myself. I am a lender. I do work with a national lender here. And if you guys got questions about mortgage rates, got mortgage questions about mortgage programs, please feel free to reach out. We do cover the whole U.S. We can certainly love to talk to you a little bit about your refinance options or different purchase options. We do cover all the different loan programs out there, and it certainly can put you in a better position. So give us a shout. Let's kind of get into the part. We do got quite a few data to go over, and that's kind of driving the market today. And we'll start off with the big one this week, which is the PCE. The PCE is the personal consumption expenditure. This happens to be the Fed's favorite gauge for inflation. Now, this is the headline one for the month of May. Last month in April, the previous month in April, it rose 0.6%, and the month of May, it jumped up 0.4%. Now, when you strip out, now it's year over year went from 3.6% to 3.9%. Now, this is the highest we've been seeing probably since the early 90s, as when during the 80s we had really high inflation, double digits, and it started going down, and we were just getting that level more reasonable back in the early 90s. And the Fed liked to keep it right around the 2% range. Now, it doesn't necessarily look at the headline number. It looks at this number, the PCE, the core PCE. And this is where you'll get the term real inflation. And this is where you strip out food and energy because those are two variables that cannot be controlled. So they kind of give this more weight. So it's month over month rose in April at 0.7%. Forecasts come for 0.6% and rose at 0.5% for the month. So it's year over year went from 3.1% coming in at forecast at 3.4%. So it only rose 0.3% year over year. So we'll see how the market's reacting to it, but it's still rising. Again, the Fed likes to keep it around 2%, but as you can see, it's a much slower pace than the month before. So we're going to probably take a few months before we see how much of a transitory the spike in inflation is going to be in a few months once we get these the bottleneck in the supply chain out. So let's kind of move on here. We also got consumer spending for the month of May. So in April, it rose at 0.5%. Forecast calling for 0.4%, and basically zero. Nothing unchanged. So people aren't spending as much in the month of May. Now the other outlier is the personal income. Now in April, wow, big drop of 13.1%. Forecast is calling for a drop of 2.5%, and slightly better at a drop of 2%. So obviously we never like to see a drop in income. However, it was better than our estimates, and of course better than the previous month. Now lastly, we got the consumer sentiment. This is a survey that's given out by the University of Michigan, and they kind of gives a gauge as to the mood for the consumers out there. And 86.4 was for the month of May, and forecast was supposed to be slightly tick higher at 86.5, and it went downwards 85.5. So people weren't feeling as rosy about that. A lot of it, of course, is the inflation. People are kind of seeing rising prices and aren't really thrilled about it. So let's kind of move ahead, take a look at what's going on with the headline news. Stocks are mixed a bit today. Nasdaq is only the lone index in the month of lone index in the red today so far. So yesterday, of course, we got the news that the infrastructure deal was agreed upon, bipartisan, between the Republicans and Democrats. That was announced yesterday. We did have a few Fed speakers. It did. There was one, I think, that made some comments yesterday, and I'll touch on that one as we go into the mortgage-backed securities. Yes, here we go. We're down about 8 basis points. So we were up a little bit for the day yesterday until Fed member, I'm trying to remember his name. What was his name? But it starts with a B. But anyways, my bad. But he did make a comment saying that we could see more inflation on the horizon, a little bit more of a spike on the horizon, kind of gave that warning up. And as he did that, we did kind of pull backwards, end up closing down about 5 basis points for the day. Now today, as you can see, we kind of went up a little bit more. Now we're down about 8 basis points. So a lot of lenders are going to look to see, probably come in with a little worse pricing. We're already starting to see some lenders getting a little jittery and repricing for the worse so far this morning. And so just give you a heads up. Now the next big catalyst for that could really affect the markets will be next week. We'll get the jobs report as we'll get the June as June comes up to a close. Uh, we'll get the June jobs number next Friday. So we'll get the sneak peek with the ADP coming out on Wednesday. And then we get the initial jobless claims on Thursday, and then Friday typically we'll get the BLS labor jobs report. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. The last two reports have been a bit disappointing, and things are kind of reopening. So we'll have to kind of wait and see if those improved or not. We've also seen unemployment the people applying for unemployment kind of decreasing. We had a few that dropped in the 300 range, but of course they got revised higher in the 400 range. But we've also seen uh, continuing claims come down a little bit as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag right there. So we'll have to kind of watch, keep our eyes open for that. But right now, again, mortgage rates are looking like will be a little bit worse today than what we saw yesterday. And a lot of it has with the big spike. We're getting a big spike in yields right now. It was kind of doing pretty good, and just kind of lately it's just been taking off. It broke up about this barrier we've been kind of seeing right around the 1.48 level, and now we're shooting above this technical level. Now we're testing the 25 and 100-day moving average right now, and we're right up about 1.54 right now. So again, we'll have to see if this is sustained for the day, but be cautious. And this is going to be heading into next week. Next week we'll have the big catalyst. It won't be till probably next Friday. So we're going to have probably a few choppy days before then. All right, folks. I hope you guys have. Hopefully this will answer a lot of questions for you folks. If you guys got questions, I'm here. Reach out. You find me on the social media site. Just go ahead and leave a question and answer. Or there's also ways that you can contact me through there. I'll get those messages, and I'll be more than happy to respond as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. We'll look forward to see you guys on Monday's video. Take care. Bye-bye.